Let's get started on setting up ActiveCampaign. Scroll down and click on the affiliate link in the video description below. Start by entering your email address. Enter your name, then enter your phone number if you wish. These steps are more for ActiveCampaign to understand their customers, so select what is relevant to you. Select what goals are relevant to you. You can skip this next step. Enter a password. Here you can see a list of tasks to complete. You don't need to complete all of them to get started collecting emails from your lead magnet. On the bottom right is the help feature, so if you get stuck at any stage you can search for the answer there. You can also contact ActiveCampaign and they will give you advice. There are also plenty of tutorials on their YouTube channel if you have any specific requests. The first thing you need to do is to enter your physical address as is required to be at the bottom of every email. To do this, click on the settings icon on the bottom left and click on addresses. And then enter your physical location. Importing contacts. We know you probably don't have a contacts list yet, but if you do, you need to save it as a CSV file in order to import them into ActiveCampaign. If you only have an Excel file but you don't have Excel, you can use Google Drive and Google Sheets for free to open your file and save it as a comma-separated values CSV file. Upload the Excel file to Google Drive and click on it to open it in Google Sheets. Once you've imported your contacts, make sure the column headers have mapped to the correct fields. The last thing to do is to add a tag to the contacts you've imported. For example, if you're a fitness coach, you may keep separate lists of your contacts. You may have people who are interested in long distance running, bodybuilding, or fat loss. If you do have separate lists, it's important you tag them as each audience will have very different interests. Creating a form. The next thing we're going to do is create a form for people to enter their name and email address on your website. Click on Site, and then select Forms. Click Create Forms. Enter a name of the form and click Create. You can add an action tag used here, or you can do it later in the automation section. We've created a form for people to access our free guide on how email marketing can help you get more customers. Anyone who signs up using this form, we'd like to be tagged as being interested in email marketing. This is the default form and we're going to customize it. First, remove the ActiveCampaign logo. Click on Style and scroll to the bottom and turn AC branding off. Next, let's change the title. I prefer to show you as little as possible to keep the form as simple as possible. I'm going to remove the titles over the fields. I'm also going to make a name required field as we will use this field to personalize emails. You don't have to follow this guidance exactly, it is more a matter of preference. Next, we're going to center the placeholder text. Unfortunately, ActiveCampaign requires you to enter CSS code rather than using a GUI interface. The first thing you need to do is to go to the style and click Inspector. Then select the element you'd like to change. We'll click on Name. Next, text -align :space center semicolon. Semicolon is the equivalent of a full stop in coding. Every line should end with a semicolon. If it doesn't, it will cause an error, so pay attention. Now I'm going to change the placeholder text in both fields. Next, we're going to style the button. First, it is better to change the text to something like Get Instant Access rather than Submit. And we want to make the width of the Submit button the same as the form fields above. Unfortunately, we will need to use CSS again. So click on the inspector and click on the form button. And type in width :space 100% semicolon. Next, we're going to change the color of the form button. You can do this using the GUI interface. Click on the background color and select the color you want. Next, we're going to change the font on the submit button to bold. You need to type font -weight :space bold semicolon. And finally, center the form header. One last thing, which is important, make sure you turn off opt-in confirmation, which is on by default. If you leave this on, this means the person needs to click a link in an email in order to be added to your email list. This step is unnecessary and should be turned off. The next thing we're going to discuss is what happens after the user completes the form. By default, it shows a thank you message. A better option would be to redirect them to a thank you video and also include some information about yourself, your experience, and some of the customers you've helped. On the Options tab, select Open URL and enter the URL you would like them to go to when they have entered their email address. You need to create a placeholder page which you can update later on. One last thing. We will increase the size of the text on the Submit button to 16 pixels. To do so, enter font-size semicolon space 16px semicolon. If you ever need any help with CSS, you can go to w3schools.com. They have all the information you'll need. Integrating your email platform with your website. Next, we're going to add the form to your website. If you don't have a website, don't worry. You can still run ads on Facebook which have a form and integrate it into ActiveCampaign. Please skip ahead to automations if you don't have a website. In this example, we'll be integrating ActiveCampaign into a WordPress website. We'll also show you how to use the HTML code which will work on any website. If you're not using WordPress, you can skip ahead to the next chapter. Click on Integrate, and then click on WordPress. Click on Download Plugin on the top right. Go to the admin panel on your WordPress website and click on Plugins and Add New. Upload and activate the plugin. On your WordPress admin dashboard, click on Settings, then click on ActiveCampaign. Now go back to the ActiveCampaign webpage. Click Save and Exit. Click on Settings on the bottom left. And then click on Developer. And then copy over the details to your WordPress website. Enter both the API URL and the API key, and then click on Update Settings. Copy the short code, which will be something like ActiveCampaign form followed by a number. Insert your title and paste it in the form shortcode, and preview what it looks like. You can see this doesn't look good. The styling we applied earlier isn't showing. This happens in some cases because the theme is overwriting the styling from ActiveCampaign. There's an easy fix to do this if you're facing the same problem. If you're not using WordPress, you can also use a solution on your website. Go back to the ActiveCampaign website, click on Site, and then click on Forms, and then click on Integrate, and copy the code that says Simple Embed. Go back to the page on our website where you want the form to appear. If you're using WordPress, insert a new block. Search for HTML. Paste the code we just copied from the ActiveCampaign website. Then go to Preview, and now you have your landing page set up. I'm not happy with how this looks. I think we can make it better. Next, we're going to show you how to style this page in WordPress. Styling your landing page. The current page we have needs some work. I'd like to get rid of the header and the footer. First, we need to install a free plugin called Elementor. Here is the plugin you need to install, and it's free. Go back to our page in the admin panel. On the side panel, select Elementor Canvas. Remove the ActiveCampaign form by deleting the block. Click Save Draft. Then click on Edit with Elementor. Now we have a blank page. Click Add New Section. Click here and select this option. First, we want the height to fill the screen. Next, we want to add a background image. Go to pixabay.com to get a free image for your website. When you found the image you want to use, go to Style, then Background, Classic, then upload the image. On the position, click Center, Center. On Repeat, click No Repeat. On Size, click on Cover. Now we want to make this image darker so the text is clearer. Go to the Background Overlay, Classic, and then Color. Drag the color picker down to the bottom to select black. You know you have selected black as the code will only have zeros. I want to make the image a bit darker, so drag the opacity closer to 0. I'll go with 0.55. Next, I'll add in a heading. Click on this icon at the top and type in heading. Drag the heading to where you want it to be. In the HTML tag, make sure you select H1. Enter your heading, and we want this to be centered. Next, we're going to have our ActiveCampaign form. Elementor does offer ActiveCampaign integration, but you have to pay. If you are just starting in email marketing, keep your spending to a minimum. If you already have a website, the only thing you should be spending money on is your lead magnet if you can't create it yourself and your Facebook ads. Don't spend money on anything else. Let's add the ActiveCampaign form for free. I had used the shortcode and it didn't work. The styling was wrong. I also used the simple embed, which worked only when I was logged into the website as the admin. When I logged out of WordPress, the form didn't work. Click on the site, then Forms. Select your form. Click on Integrate. Copy the code from the full embed. Go back to your landing page. Click on the box in the top right of the toolbar and type in HTML. Make sure you select the one of the left and not the custom HTML option. And paste in the ActiveCampaign form code. After you finish, make sure you check the landing page when you're both logged in and logged out of WordPress to make sure it's okay. Next, we'll add some text on the left. Click the box on the top left and type text into the search box. Drag the text into the box on the left and enter your text. Ideally, you should include some testimonials on your page, but we've just created these tutorials, so we don't have any. If you found them useful, contact us using the link below along with a link to your business website and your LinkedIn profile. It would help us a lot to have testimonials on this page. I'll make the image a bit darker so the text is clearer by adjusting the opacity. That's our page finished. And this is how it looks on mobile. You'll need to now create your thank you page and your lead magnet page following the same steps. If your lead magnet is an unlisted video, you can embed it into the page. If you have a PDF, you can upload it to your website and copy the URL of the document from the media library and paste it into the email. If you don't have a website, you can upload your file to Google Drive and make it shareable. Links to your files can then be included in the email leads we'll receive when they join your email list, which we'll cover later. Automations is one of the most powerful things about ActiveCampaign. They allow you to deliver target content based on how your audience interacts with your content. Let's set up your first automation in ActiveCampaign. Go to Automations by clicking on the gear icon on the left. If you haven't already tagged someone using your form, you can do it here. It's important to have at least one tag so you can deliver content which people are interested in. We're going to tag people as being interested in email marketing. The next thing we want to do is to send a link to the lead magnet to those who signed up. Go to Sending Options and click on Send an Email. Click on Create Email and give the email a name. Click on the newsletter template. If you haven't already, verify your email address. Next, enter the email subject. It's best not to have too many images in your email so it doesn't end up in the spam folder or the promotions folder. It's better to use the same format you use when emailing friends, but having a call to action button will help click-through rates. Edit the email as you like. It's always good to make it personal, so include the person's first name. Provide the link to your lead magnet. Don't include your lead magnet in the email as an attachment, as it can be classified as spam. One useful tool, especially if you're working in affiliate marketing, is a WordPress plugin called Pretty Links. It allows you to create user-friendly links using your own domain name. The benefit of this is you don't need to use those awful-looking referral links provided which look like a link to a scam. Now that we have our email created, let's go back to our automations. The next thing we want to check is if the user who emailed us has clicked a link in the email. First, we'll wait 3 days. Then we'll wait until it's a weekday and 11 AM. If the user hasn't clicked on a link, then we're going to send them a reminder email. If the user has clicked on the link, we're going to send them an email to see how they're getting on and if they need any help with ActiveCampaign or Facebook. We'll wait 7 days more, as they will need some time to get started. If after we send a reminder email the user has clicked a link, we'll send them a follow-up email to see if they need any help. We can do this by linking the process flow back up the wait 7 days step above. The people who still haven't clicked on the link, we're going to be very generous and give them 7 more days. If they don't want to click on a link, we remove them from our list. It's important to remove inactive users from your mailing list. You don't need to do this through automations. You can use ActiveCampaign's cleanup tool. The reason why is because inactive users will bring down your email open rates. When the likes of Gmail sees email coming through with low open rates, they are more likely to be tagged as spam. Custom content. One thing we wanted to cover is how to deliver custom content based on how your audience interacts with your emails. This isn't required as part of building your initial email list, so if you're not interested, you can skip ahead to the final chapter, which is sending out emails. This part is important if you have customers with different interests and goals. Let's go back to our automation. Instead of removing people from our email list, what if we said maybe these people are no longer interested in email marketing, but they might be interested in other topics? Let's send them an email which provides links to a range of topics and they can select the ones which best suit them. Let's create a new email for that in ActiveCampaign. This isn't a real email we're actually going to use, it's just for demonstration purposes only. Let's enter in the titles and the topics we want to link to. When you have the text entered, it's time to add links. Select the text you want to transform into a link and click on the link icon in the toolbar above. Enter in the URL where the person will be sent to and then click on Add Action and select Add Tags and then enter the value. Every person who clicks on the first link will be tagged as being interested in Facebook content. You can use the same process for the rest of your links. Using this process, you can then tag your audience better based on their interests and you can now deliver custom content. In the future, when we send an email to users tagged with Facebook content, those users who clicked on the Facebook content link will receive that email. This can be really useful. For example, if you're a fitness coach and you write an article on nutrition for long distance running. When you send your email in ActiveCampaign, you can send it to those who are tagged with long distance running. This way you can deliver custom content based on the interests of specific segments of your email list, increasing engagement will ultimately lead to the end goal of generating sales. Sending a once-off email in ActiveCampaign. In ActiveCampaign, click on Campaigns and click on Create your first campaign. Next, give your campaign a name and select Standard Campaign. Click on Next. Select the list you would like to send your email to. From the templates, click Create from Scratch. To add social media links, click on the Insert tab and click on Social Media Links and populate the relevant fields and switch off any fields you're not using. Insert any images, text, and links you want to add. One thing we forgot to cover when we were designing the email template as part of automations is that you can save blocks to a library. In the future, you can use them to cross all your emails and email templates. When you're finished, click on Next. Scan through each of the items. Rather than send the email now, you can schedule it for a later date. You can also send a test email, which is always prudent to do, particularly if you're just starting in email marketing. Also, make sure you've passed a spam check. Once that's all done, you're good to go. Simply click on Send Now in the top right and you're finished. Outro. This is the end of the tutorial on ActiveCampaign. If you found this video useful, please like, share, and comment below. We're planning on running live tutorials in the future. If you're interested, you can register your interest below. It helps us a great deal if you can share our content on your social media networks, particularly LinkedIn. If you have questions, please comment below. You might also consider joining our Facebook and LinkedIn groups to get further advice and to network with other business owners. Links to both groups are below. If you would like to feature your business in one of our articles or videos and recommend software to other business owners while also getting free promotion for your business, please use the contact link below.